How yeah, Benny Smiles here, and I'm about to take a look at music theory in my track Hotline Miami theme. It's the third one in this series of videos. If you missed number 1 on the drum production and number 2 on synth production, please look at my production and music theory playlist where you can find both of those videos. Please subscribe, please like, please hit the notification bell. All of those things are genuinely helpful and help me to keep doing exactly this. This week's Q&A from Sakunera on YouTube. I am really curious to know what kind of artists inspired your compositional ideas for this track, or the way you would have gone about deciding what to focus on and to build around. Brackets. I understand some of those things are very in the moment, but who knows, maybe you can remember the mindset. Yeah, fucking good question. Definitely there's a couple of artists that I've just been trying to rip off Trues since 2012, I think. My favourite synthwave tracks of all time is probably Cyanide Sisters by Trues, and Sundriped, both from the Cyanide Sisters EP. So when it comes to drum sounds, like, I'll definitely try to lean into that direction. I love the just super nostalgia feel of that stuff. There are definitely some apparent influences in there, or maybe they're not so apparent, but when you start to look at the construction of the harmony and what's happening in the keyboards, there's some major Massive Attack stuff going on that's kind of interesting. Deciding what to focus on and build around, I'm just vomiting out ideas until there's something vaguely decent, or just barfing stuff up, and then you kind of look through the sick and hope that there's some good carrots in there. Freedom Fallout on Reddit Hotline Miami says, the track seems to be one of a rare few in the OSTs that has a much more upbeat and positive sound to it. Coincidentally, the level it is used in is also the sunniest and brightest level in the games. Was the track's inclusion here a product of its sunny sound, or were you informed about where or when the track would be included? It always seemed like a match made in heaven from an aesthetic perspective, which is a cool observation. So the next video will detail how I got that gig, how I wound up working on the soundtrack, the interactions with Dennis and Jonathan from Denaton Games and Devolver, everything surrounding the business aspect of it, and including all that kind of stuff. So that'll be covered next week. My Instagram is Benny Smiles Music. It's awesome to hear from you, so please, fucking say hello. If you want to support what I do, please click the Patreon link below, or Bandcamp. You can buy the EP there, or you can support me with your fat cash. Buy me a coffee or a beer would be nice. It's a beautiful day, by the way. And if you do that, you will get the MIDI pack containing all of the MIDI that we've used in these videos, including the bass, the drums, the strings, and the synthesizers. All available at the links below. Cool, man. Let's take a listen. Okay, so straight away, that octave arpeggiated figure is letting us know that we're in the home key, we're in A major. Bass this thing comes in. Okay, so all of this whole section is just a repeated A chord. It sets it up, it lets us know very clearly that we're in A major. Okay, so this becomes significant because what follows that is a little weird. Okay, so these are all major chords, which is unusual in the key of A major. We've got A major, F major, C major, and D major. Yet 2 of those chords are not contained in the key of A major. So what is going on there? We're breaking the rules of diatonic harmony and possibly the very fabric of space and time. We're employing the use of parallel modes. where we're in A major, but we're borrowing chords from A minor as well. And doing so gives it just this interesting flavor, or it's interesting to me. In all the tracks that I make, melody's got to be interesting, production has to, I don't know, have some kind of character about it, but I just need something that interests me in the harmony, and in this instance, it's using modal mixture. These are all names for the same thing, different names for the same thing, like parallel modes, modal mixture, or borrowed chords. It's all the same thing. But yeah, using this technique allows you to take chords from one key and just slot them into another key, and it creates something that to my ears sounds kind of exotic or foreign or exciting or in some way slightly unsettling and but in an engaging way. And there are some cool examples of other tracks that use this, and one in particular, Teardrop by Massive Attack on the album Mezzanine. There are some hefty similarities I've discovered while I was preparing for this video. And yeah, we'll see more about them. There's another track called Behind the Mask by Yellow Magic Orchestra that uses, again, borrowed chords that gives it this kind of strange, unsettling feeling. I recommend you check out both of those tracks if you're not familiar with them. Mind-blowing stuff. So those 4 chords they are the essence of the musical material, at least for the first progression A. But there's more to it than that. So like a little bit more to it. So for a start, the prophet chords, they're voiced slightly oddly. They're some kind of inversion where the root is A let's just say it's in the left hand. Then above that, you've got E is the 5th. And then the major 3rd is C sharp 3. So in its first inversion, that chord would sound like this. It's A major. But it's kind of arranged oddly. So we've got what sounds like a 6th in the right hand first. And then it's followed by the root, which is A. So it's like... So it is an A major chord, but it's voiced in such a way that makes it sound more interesting. I love that kind of stuff. I find that just feels more interesting to do it like that. In Squirmy, you've got... This never changes throughout the whole song. Similar to Teardrop by Massive Attack, that has this repeating riff in it. What is it? Yeah. Like that. There are multiple parallels. I'm laughing because the keyboard is the latency, because I'm doing the screen recording, the latency is absolutely outrageous. So yeah, it's a real feat to play in time. There's multiple parallels between Teardrop by Massive Attack and this track. So that for a start. The chords are pretty similar. It's actually in the same key. They're both in A major. I feel like Massive Attack probably used that parallel harmony thing, borrowing chords from A minor and putting them into A major. If you never actually hear the harmony fully described in Teardrop, you don't hear the major thirds. You don't hear any thirds in any of those chords. They're just roots and then what's happening here. But if you play all major chords behind it, it makes way more sense than playing properly in the key of A major, and how the vocal melody falls on top of that. Yeah, kind of cool. It's a slightly different chord progression, but definitely some parallels to be drawn. Then what we've got in the strings, between the strings, the squirmy thing and everything else, Yeah, you ultimately get chords that kind of, if you block them out on a piano, and I'm trying to hit like most of the musical information that's been contained across all of the tracks, you get something that sounds like this. Yeah, again, much more interesting than when I was doing the last video. I noticed that there was some poor voice leading going on in the viola track. I mean, generally it's weird voice leading, but particularly there's suddenly a moment where it's double stopping, or the section is splitting a chord, like the viola section is splitting a chord between its members, like where two people are playing G and then two people are playing C or something like that, or you're double stopping where there's two notes are being held at the same time, and I guess it's odd to have a single note followed by what is essentially a chord. Yeah, I mean, fuck it, man. It just does not matter. It's not amazing part writing, but it's not the end of the world either. Like, if anything, it provides a slightly more interesting texture for that chord and puts an emphasis on it. Please do subscribe to get the next video, and please do comment with your questions or any suggestions. If I'm yapping too much or not enough, please let me know.